Melinda. I really wanted to start posting some videos on YouTube to share what I'm making and what I'm working on and to join the community here. I am often making alone. A lot of my friends have the same hobbies that I do. So it'd be really lovely to find a space to connect with others and share what I'm doing and to have conversations around them. I think that would be really, really nice. I mostly embroider and sew, and I do a little bit of knitting as well, so that's what I'll be showing most. But whatever creative I'm working on, I would love to share on this platform. I've just got a few notes to try and keep me on track, so that's why I'm just sort of peering down. Also want to mention I've recently just jumped back into making my own clothes, so I'll be sharing a lot of that journey as well, getting back into making my own clothes. I did a little bit of making my own clothes back through high school, but then I started university and I sort of just didn't continue that hobby, but I'm really feeling very inspired by other people on YouTube and just with some of the amazing patterns that I'm seeing out there that I just would really love to pick up that hobby again. So I'll be sharing a few things that I've made, a few things I'm working on now in this video. Most of my videos are going to be like a podcast style, so just generally updating you on what I've made, what I'm working on, and plans for what I would like to work on in the future. I'm not sure how often I'm going to be able to post. I do work part-time and I am a mum to a beautiful but very, very active 1-year-old boy, so the times for me to be able to film where it's quiet, where he's not in the house, are very few and far between. So I'm not sure yet how often I will be able to get up on here and post, but I'd like to think I could do it once every couple months at a minimum, but we'll see. Is there anything else? So I think that's everything that we'll just begin with, and we'll just dive into what I've been making or have made over the last month or two. So we'll start off with unfortunately an unsuccessful sew, which is a bit disappointing to start off on that note, but it does get better, I promise. It's not that it wasn't unsuccessful in terms of the pattern, just I picked a pattern that I found out I don't love. So I picked the Sylvia Jacket by Sew Over It. It's a beautiful jacket if you like that style. It's a drop shoulder, and what I've worked out is in woven fabrics, because I also recently bought a drop shoulder jacket and I just find that I don't like a drop shoulder style jacket. I find it rounds me out too much and I just don't gravitate towards it in my wardrobe. So I sort of figured that out towards the end of this make, and I thought, oh, I'll just make it anyway, finish it off, and hopefully I'll wear it. But I will be donating this this project, unfortunately. It's a beautiful fabric as well, so another disappointment, but that's life. So it was in this beautiful floral fabric. I picked up this fabric from Sew Over It. Not Sew Over It, that was the pattern. I picked up the fabric from the Sewing Basket, which is a organisation here in New South Wales that you can donate your fabric, haberdashery items to the Sewing Basket, and they employ people with disability, and they also have people who volunteer and in their shops, and they sell these some really beautiful fabrics and beautiful stuff in there at really, really great prices. So it makes like this hobby, which used to be really, really expensive, much more affordable, which in this current climate is really nice, particularly with a 1-year-old. Suddenly, you know, you're spending a lot of money when you add another member to your family. So this fabric, I think it was about 1 meter, so it wasn't, or maybe just over 1 meter. Actually, I have tried to be good and write down my notes. So it was just, yeah, it was 1 meter and 67 centimeters, and it was $8 for the whole lot. So it's not too bad considering it's unsuccessful. It was only $8, but yes, I will be donating that. Unfortunately, the pattern was so easy to follow. There's nothing wrong with the pattern from Sew Over It. It was just discovered I don't like a drop shoulder, so that will be going yeah, into the charity bin. The next make was successful, so I picked up my knitting needles again. Once my boy's down to sleep at night, it's really nice just to work on some embroidery or some knitting while we watch a show. And so I haven't knitted since he around the time he was a newborn. I was finishing off a jumper around at that time, but I haven't really picked up the needles since then. But I have now finished my next knitting make, which was the Grow hat by Fiber Tales. So I really like the design with the little wheats or leaves there, and I did make a few adjustments to the pattern. So just once we got to the sort of the top of the crown, in between all the decreased rows, I just added another knit, just a plain row without any decreases at each increase. So I think in between all these sort of sections I added an extra row, but it has worked really well because I know some people have commented that it was quite small and it's not graded or anything, the pattern. So I think without those little increases in the crown to sort of just lengthen out the hat, it would have been too small, but that has made it actually a really comfortable fit. So I'm really looking forward to wearing this with my dog Harvey, walking him in the morning and in the evenings when it's nice and cold come it's probably more like April, May these days when it gets cold enough here in Sydney in the southern hemisphere. So I'm really looking forward to wearing that. I used a yarn from my local yarn shop, which was Fiddlesticks yarn Pepin number 8. It was an 8-ply 100% Australian fine merino wool. So I'll pop those details in the description as well if you're interested in the same yarn. I really love this colour, this sort of dusty green. I'm not sure how you describe that colour, but I really like it at the moment. So I was really happy that that was successful after an unsuccessful make previously. So they're just 2 makes that I've completed recently that I thought I would share. I don't get a huge amount of time to work on my creative projects, so I won't have heaps and heaps of stuff to share every time I do a video, but I'll just be showing, yeah, a few things I've made and a few plans I've got coming up. So my plans for my next sewing make, I'm going to use this beautiful, again from the Sewing Basket. It was $16 for 2.3 meters, and they've marked it as vintage. And it's this beautiful sort of woven, and there's a pattern in the weave. Really delicate and really beautiful. I'm planning to make the Bonnie woven top by Style Arc. I'm actually going to buy, I think they've done a pack where you can buy the Bonnie woven top and skirt, which is a button down skirt, which I'm gonna get that pack because I would like to make the skirt at some point in the future. I don't know when. I have got fabric for it. I got a lovely denim fabric from Spotlight, which I'll share when I get to making that. But so I'll buy the 2-pack, but then I'll just make the top for now out of this fabric. Hopefully I've got enough because it's quite short in the width. It's only 85 centimeters, but I'm thinking because it's 2.3 meters, hopefully I have enough. And I also have just some plain cotton sort of voile for a lining since it's quite sheer. I haven't actually worked out if there's a lining or if it's just faced in the pattern, but I will have to line it so I can adjust that pattern if I need to. And there's a few buttons down the back. I really love that detail, and I've got really sweet little vintage painted heart box, and I've got a whole stack of white cream coloured vintage buttons, so I'll pick out 6 from there to go down the back as well. So that's my next sewing project. My next knitting project, which I've ordered the needles for that haven't arrived yet, so I'm waiting. They should hopefully arrive towards the end of this week. Hopefully they won't take too long because I really want to get started. But this is again another the yarn from this was rescued from another unsuccessful knit ages ago, and I do have a couple balls here that I didn't use in that project. It's the Rowan Denim Revive, 95% cotton and 5% other, because it is recycled denim and recycled cotton, and it's in that beautiful, really beautiful dark denim colour. So I've got quite a bit of this yarn, and I'm planning to make, hopefully it works, I haven't done my gauge swatch yet, so I have to do that to make sure that yarn will work and figure out which needles I need to use to make the gauge. But I'm planning to make the Margot top by Gregoria Fibers. I saw, can't remember who, but one of the twins from the Twins Who Knit in a beautiful cream white colour, and I just loved it. I do want to make it in a white as well one day in the future, but I've got this yarn here. I don't have to spend any more money, so I'm going to attempt that pattern with this yarn. It's just so elegant. I love the neckline, so yeah, we'll see how we go with that one. Fingers crossed it works out. So that's my knitting project that I've got planned to do. The only other project that I've got planned to work on is it's called the Flowering Gum Quilt pattern by Ruth, I think it's Ruth DeVos. Yeah, Ruth DeVos. And she is an Australian contemporary quilt artist, maker. She's so talented. I love her, what she makes, and she sells them as like artworks, and she also creates patterns. So she's created, I signed up to her block of the month a couple years ago. I just signed up to the PDF version. You could have bought like the kit version as well, where she hand dyed fabrics to go with the pattern. I just signed up to the PDF version, which was very fortunate because I have not got round to doing that pattern, and it's been at least a couple years since it was released as a block of the month. So I'm planning now to try and do 1 block per month this year to get the quilt done, because it's really beautiful. And I love that it's a classic, it's an Australian floral. You know, being in Australia, and you often get inspired by lots of people overseas, but it's really lovely to see a quilt pattern with Australian flora designed into it, and it's just beautiful. So yeah, I'm gonna try and do 1 block a month, and I've been sort of collecting fabrics as I go, so I've got quite a stack here which I had on the floor, so I will definitely won't be using all these, but I've sort of just been putting aside a lot of solid colors that I've sort of picked up in different fabric bundles and things like that. So there's a whole heap of colors there, and a whole heap of colors there. So this is, I'm planning to dig into this bundle here to piece those blocks together. Most of these fabrics, if not all of them, were from Scribbly Gum Quilt Co, which is another lovely Australian business to support, where they do some really fun fabric bundles for quilting. So stay tuned, I can't wait to see that come together. So there are all my plans for what I'm making in my spare time. There are a few other things I wanted to mention. I've got so many little ideas and plans, but one thing I would like to get started is selling a few little things that I make on Etsy. So to begin with, I'm wearing the earrings that I like to sell on Etsy. So these beautiful little crochet doilies were actually done by my nana, so my mum's mum, before she passed away, and I've got a whole stack of them, and they're really beautiful, and I haven't known what to do with them, but I've since put them on these little earring hoops, and I've been really enjoying wearing them, and I've got them in this sort of neutral natural color, and I also have a similar style in the red, so it's very similar. Let's fold it over. I think they're just beautiful. I think they actually make really lovely earrings. So I will be popping those up on Etsy in the near future when I can find the time. And if you're interested and you'd like to purchase one of those, just follow me on Instagram. I'll put the details below, and that's the best place to find out what I'm going to be doing, what I'm going to be doing next, and when they'll be uploaded onto Etsy. And then there was just one other thing I wanted to share, which is I am doing 2 workshops with the St. George and Sutherland Shire Community College this year. One is embroidery, which is just a 1 workshop on a Saturday in February. It's just 10 to 4 p.m. And it's just for beginners. We'll be doing learning all the embroidery stitches, and if there's time, I'm sure there'll be time, we'll be working on a little picture showing you how to use some of those embroidery stitches. So if you're interested, again, I'll put all the links below. I'd love to see you there if you're local and you are new to embroidery and interested in starting that creative pursuit. The other workshop I'll be offering through the same college is beginners patchwork and quilting class. So it's a 2-part workshop. We're going to be doing a very basic but beautiful, they're my favorite style of quilt, just a simple square block quilt, and but there'll be some options to personalize it, so we'll talk all about that through the workshop. It's a 2-part workshop, so it's over 2 consecutive Saturdays in March, again 10 till 4 p.m, and I'll pop the link and the dates below if you're interested, and I would love to meet you at those workshops if you are local or willing to travel for them. Why not, if you've never done any of those sort of projects before. So that's everything from me today. Thank you so much for joining me and giving a chance here on YouTube, and I am looking forward to sharing more and posting more as the year progresses. So I will see you later. Bye.